Hello and welcome to another session and NestGen 2024. So my name is Vinayak and I'm excited to welcome you to this session. So before we begin, why not let's ask our audience to drop a couple of questions for our speakers, right? So maybe it will be good to talk during the sessions. So I believe everyone might have seen the session's topic. So we have already Hextronics right here with us. So Hextonics Docks have been in the market for quite some time now and have been deployed for multiple applications across the world. In today's session, we'll be deep diving deeper into how these nests are being actively used for industrial inspection. The, Joining with us today, we also have Hextronics partners who will discuss or kind of do a kind of a deeper discussion and how they have been deploying autonomous operations beyond the visual line of sight with approvals from the FAA. With further ado, we have our speakers for today. Our speakers for today are quite the trio of CEOs. So please welcome Kurt, Jesse, and Jimmy, the CEOs of Hextronics, Ready Monitor, and Overlay Aerials, respectively. Let's now hear from them how, with the help of Hextronics Nest, autonomous operations are deployed to carry out routine inspections of power plant and telecommunication towers and other similar assets. But before we begin, we have a couple of housekeeping rules. So grab your favorite cup of mocha and get super comfortable because this session is going to be one of its kind. Please feel free to type in any questions you might have during the sessions in the Q&A chat, which will be obviously taken after the session. This session is getting recorded and will be published soon after the event. And we also have an Hextronics booth in the next session. You guys can go and visit, and maybe Kurt and someone from the team can join. Right. Mm-hmm. And before we begin, lastly, I also wanted to add, please remember to capture your favorite movements during the session, share them on Twitter, LinkedIn, tagging all our speakers, and do not forget to use an hashtag NestGen. A few lucky people who shares might have a surprise in the store. So there is an ongoing poll during the session, will be there, and please do participate if there are. And lastly, I would also like to thank our title sponsor, the DJI, and our gold sponsor, Sunflower Labs. And with that, the stage is yours. Over to you, Kurt, Jimmy, and Jesse.
All right, thank you, Vinayak. Very good. Let me get my my screen online here. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go. I'm calling in from sunny South Florida, right here in Miami at Hextronics headquarters. Jimmy and Jesse, you guys want to say where you're calling in from?
Oh, I'll start it off. I'm calling in from Orange County, California. I'm Jimmy Dempsey. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Overlay Aerials.
Mm-hmm. And I'm Jesse Stepler. I'm the CEO and founder of Ready Monitor. I'm calling in from Montgomery County, Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C., the largest no-fly zone in the world.
All right, sounds good. Let's get into it. I want to just get started by sharing a little bit about the growth of Hextronics. Any long-term fans from the FlytBase team would know that not too long ago, we started Hextronics in our garage right in Miami. And since then, we've gotten orders from across the world. Right now, Hextronics products can be found in over 25 countries, servicing use cases for first response, agriculture, track inspection, pipeline inspection, and any other kind of industrial inspection where drones are needed. And we're doing so with a pretty killer team down here, about 25 really hard workers and some great people I love to call family. And everything right here is designed and manufactured in about a 5,000 square foot facility where we ship out products every week. And our main unit that's really had such a powerful impact across the world in its capabilities is the Atlas. The Atlas is the nest for the M300, M350 aircraft. And with this nest, it really opens up the widest variety of payloads, sensors, and additional capabilities that really has not been an option before, especially with the power of the compact size, enabling for battery replacement of the M300's batteries. And so this unit, as you can see, some get deployed on rooftops and are then launched in order to maintain a very strong radio link, as well as visual line of sight in some cases. The rooftop just is the best place to pop these puppies down, and they look just like one of those package HVAC units that you can see right next to them on the roof. And so we're at the rate now where we produce one Atlas every week, and this has continued to grow quite significantly since last year. And then with Hextronics and the team here, we were building quite a variety of different nests. You all might remember the global that we had back in the day, and since then we've had kind of requests nests for different drones, and we got tired of building a new nest for every drone, so we just said, you know what, let's make one for all. And so that's where the Universal comes in. And so over the course of 2023, we've been actively deploying, working with some initial customers and use cases to really refine the product to be, in our view, the most advanced compact drone in a box system ever created, with its capability for battery replacement of, say, the Mavic 3, enterprise thermal, especially the multispectral, as well as for a variety of other different drones in the market, say with the Paradanafi series. And just as I talked about with the Atlas, all of these units are designed and manufactured right here in South Florida with our team. So I want to share a little bit about how to use our nests with FlytBase. The Atlas and the Universal both can be controlled directly from the FlytBase dashboard, and from here you launch a mission either on command or on schedule, and it will prepare the drone. It'll power on the remote controller, and then send it the waypoint missions to actually start activating and capturing data. And so right here, you all might have recognized the backdrop. It's from Hex Labs, we call it, or basically the garage where we just started off. And that's where we fly over 20 missions every day with our nests just located on site. So this is how we've done all of the initial validation about a year ago. And so from here, you'll see that we've got all the telemetry and the activation from the FlightNow team, and then the drone returns for precision landing right back onto the nest. And then inside, you'll see what you can do with the battery. And of course, after the mission activates, you have the capability to download the imagery, the data directly to your FlightNow or your FlytBase server or your S3 bucket. And then while you're playing with your data, or while you're prepping for the next mission inside the Universal, we've got an extremely compact and robust battery replacement system. And so with this system, it's tested to well over 2,000 cycles continuously. And across the board, we've got well over 100,000 cycles of battery replacement across our products throughout the world. And so from here, the Universal can store 5 different batteries, charging them all up, ready to go for the next mission. So you can have continuous flight as needed. And with this, we have a variety of sensors to ensure that the process happens successfully every time. And so then once your data is brought back to the FlightBase application, you can then do whatever you wish with that. You can generate 3D models. This one in particular was made using Pix4D. And so this is basically the entire city block right around Hex Labs that we generate every week or so. And so more and more to hand this off to how the missions really are enabled through some of the pretty powerful regulatory advances that have been made over the past couple of months. I'd like to hand it over to Jesse and the team from Ready Monitor.
Thanks, Kurt. So I'm for those of you not familiar with me, prior to founding Ready Monitor, I was the first employee at a company called Measure, and we were the early leader in drone services in North America. So why do I mention that? Well, I saw firsthand how challenging it was to move people and equipment around the country trying to deliver services, and it continues to be an incredibly effective way to capture aerial data, but there were certain applications and customers that we were just not able to cost effectively deliver service to, right? Keeping people on certain sites continuously is just not an option. And we would also experience expensive things like weather delays, where we'd have the people and the equipment, but we didn't have the operating window in terms of weather. And for those of you joining from the previous session, there are also companies that help predict that, like TrueWeather. But regardless, having a remote drone on site was always a dream of ours, and I always believed that it was going to be an enabler of the next phase of growth for this technology. So, companies like Hextronics and entrepreneurs like Kurt have been trying to enable this for the last few years. And recently it's become much more possible here in the US with improvements in the waiver process from the FAA, as well as with more reliability with systems like Hextronics Atlas and the Hextronics Universal that really allow us to reliably and predictably deliver service on a regular basis for customers. Now, the slide you're looking at right here is the pre-flight inspection system that Hextronics built in collaboration with Ready Monitor, and that's designed specifically for compliance here in the US under existing FAA rules for operating beyond visual line of sight, and in particular operating without a human being present to perform pre-flight inspections under Part 107.15 and 49. So I will say this has been one of the best parts about working with Hextronics is their level of responsiveness to the needs that exist in the market and the regulatory environment today. And together we were able to achieve what was both an unprecedented and the most expansive set of waivers to date approved by the FAA. These allow us to operate on a nationwide scale in uncontrolled airspace on closed access sites using the Hextronics Universal system and to be able to deliver service without having to go through a 6 to 12 month process of site identification, incorporating, detect and avoid solutions. And, I nothing bad to say about DAA solutions in general, but, for our purposes, we needed to be able to operate in a flexible manner that was not site specific. And as a result, using infrastructure masking and the pre-flight inspection tools that Kurt and his team at Hextronics were able to deliver, we were able to create a safety case and successfully get these waivers approved, which really makes us an easy button for BVLOS drone operations across the United States. So, in terms of what that enables us to do, it varies depending on the type of site, but, we get anywhere from 50 to 200 feet of clearance from the nearest obstacles. And we can operate, we can operate well out. It's, depending on the waiver, anywhere from a half mile to up to 2 miles away from the dock without any additional regulatory work that's necessary. We are still in the early stages of this technology, even though we're seeing a lot of successful deployments across the world, and many countries I want to give credit to have managed to start rolling this out at scale. But in particular, I'm very excited about what this means for growth in the drone industry and then over the next decade. I'd also like to say a few words about why we selected Hextronics. We did an extensive evaluation, and while I certainly like Kurt and his team, We looked across at a lot of different dock providers out there, and there's some other good ones. But what really struck me about Hextronics was both the reliability as well as the optionality and flexibility of their systems. So we've got some questions here already about battery swapping and range. And both of those are, and both of those are, the answers are actually, it varies because Hextronics has a wide variety of systems. So we offer both the battery replacement or swapping capability that the Universal has. And that is useful for customers that want to conduct multiple flights in a day, even if you don't necessarily need to do that hot swap, right? And you would like to have, and you could rely on their simple charging system with a single battery that allows you to distribute the load in terms of the number of flights that you're performing across 5 batteries in that system. So you can install it and you don't necessarily have to worry about burning through a single battery if you're doing flights every day. On the other hand, if you don't need that solution, then you can go with your other option, which does not have battery swapping and is just a single battery that you can charge. And then, of course, while the Universal works with the Mavic 3 series, which for us was really important because it's a super flexible aircraft with options for thermal, with options for multispectral, with options for speaker and lighting systems. The other family of Hextronics products also enables us to use more advanced systems like the DJI Matrice series, where if needed, you can get more extensive payloads and get more flexibility in terms of the data that you're creating. The other thing I'd mention as well is we do have customers who have demand for American manufactured or blue SUAS. And because the Hextronics dock is designed to be agnostic to the type of aircraft that is operating within it, that gives us more flexibility while still being able to use the same hardware and software package. And that's something else I'll emphasize as well, which is we're doing physical hardware installations and we're doing digital integrations, right? And companies like FlytBase make that really easy. But I would also say that kind of flexibility is important because, look, there are going to be new aircraft that come out in 2 years. And this is not as simple as buying a DJI Mavic and flying it until, the next thing comes out and you swap it out, right? If you want to have access to new aircraft, right? And certainly we want to be able, Ready Monitor wants to be able to take advantage of new aircraft types and have flexibility for our customers in terms of data and in terms of what hardware they prefer. That flexibility is really a huge value proposition for us. So, while our waivers are built around the Hextronics system and, heavily, we love flying with DJI aircraft, the flexibility that we have to bring other aircraft under these approvals and offer them our customers is incredibly valuable.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Thanks, Jesse. Now let's talk about really the killer application of drone-in-a-box systems with Jimmy.
Awesome. Thank you for the introduction. Kind of start off just again, I'm Jimmy Dempsey. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Overlay Aerials. We provide a full service autonomous drone and box solution for different industries. And once again, kind of just supporting Jesse and what he's been saying, the Hextronics has been super accommodating and super incredible throughout this entire process, both with the Atlas and the Universal. And it's helped us be able to build out these full workflows for our clients that allow them to collect the data that they need to make those critical decisions that matter most. One of the main things has been golf courses. This has been a vertical that we've been focused on since the start of Overlay Aerials. It's really helped us analyze the amount of data that they need. We help these golf course superintendents leverage autonomous drone technology to deliver customized aerial data and optimize turf management to maximize resource and profitability. There was a common theme that when we were discussing with these superintendents, they don't want to take on the responsibility of having a drone to operate. So we took that feedback and designed this company so that the golf courses can harness the power of the drone technology and utilize their labor management to make this a reality. These superintendents are already working 12 plus hours a day. They don't have time to learn another task, to learn another thing, and have to take the time to be able to collect that data. And that's where Overlay Aerials really stepped in to help them achieve these goals. the main thing that we use for utilizing these golf courses is the Hextronics Universal. It's been a game changer in the industry, and utilizing that with FlytBase's software and housing the DJI Mavic 3 multispectral allowed us to help these golf courses take their turf management to the next level. This really enabled the golf courses to turn them from being a subpar experience to an Eagle rating. And right now, we're in a late stage discussions with the #1 golf course in the U.S. To integrate this next level technology. And we couldn't be more excited to help these courses keep its status while helping them improve their efficiency and their resources. And to kind of give you a sense of how we're partnering with golf courses, we set up a schedule for the drone to do its routine mission over the courses at least once a week, if not a few times a week. The Mavic 3M then scans each hole, and we process that data to deliver to the superintendents. These superintendents take these reports and build out a schedule for their crew based off the data and their reporting. This allows the superintendents to be able to monitor the nutrition and the health of their turf to the highest level. They're able to monitor the green health of the turf instead of using old traditional methods. They're able to detect pests and disease before it's even become noticeable with the human eye, and optimize on nutrition and irrigation for their courses, and create an overall efficiency across their turf management team. And without the Hextronics Universal and with FlytBase's incredible support team, this wouldn't be possible. And with all these things partnering together, along with the DJI Mavic 3 multispectral, it's been a launch into the future. And the amazing thing is the future is now with BVLOS, and we couldn't be more excited to be a part of this.
Sounds like a hole-in-one, Jimmy.
Absolutely.
All right, I think that's what we've got time for today. We'll look at some questions right now, and we'll leave on the screen contact info so you all can get in touch with any one of us. I'll start chipping away at some of these questions if that's all right with you, Vinayak.
Yes, sure, Kurt. Please go ahead.
All right. So the first question I see is, why no other docking station manufacturers make a nest to swap a drone's battery? There's a couple other battery swap guys out there. Hextronics just prioritizes really doing it in the most compact form factor possible, and then really putting our systems in the toughest environments so that we can get that reliability in a wide variety of use cases. It also helps that the core founding team at Hextronics are all mechanical engineering nerds. And so if there's one thing that keeps us awake at night, it's how to make the best and most compact drone in a box system with all the good capabilities. And another one that applies to us is, how long does it take to swap a battery in the Atlas, in the Global, and I'll say in the Universal? So the Atlas is about 3 minutes. The Global is about 100 seconds, and the Universal is under just 1 second, under 70 seconds. And that's really where we've put a lot of our energy in, not just making extremely reliable systems, but ones that are also powerful and get you back up in the air as quick as possible. Some of pretty much the two other questions can be combined into one. And I think that's applicable to you, Jesse. It's pretty much how do people get their BVLOS waiver, and maybe how can they work with Ready Monitor to do so?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the answer is it's not easy. And I would certainly like to see a much more streamlined process, but unfortunately, it's going to take a lot more than just administrative action within the FAA in order to do that, in terms of putting in place rules for BVLOS operations. So in the meantime, it's a waiver process to the Part 107 rules that requires a lot of documentation. So you're talking about what's your concept of operations, making the safety case, your standard operating procedures, your pre-flight and post-flight checklists. It also includes putting in place a safety management system, or an SMS, for those that of you that are familiar with it, and then making the applications through the FAA's portal. And then that is typically, once you've done that, it's about a 90-day process. It goes on pause when you get an RFI back from the FAA. So it can take anywhere from 6 to 12 months. Now, what our solution for that is, using Ready Monitor's waivers, we actually can deliver service for customers on demand in a short amount of time. And we do have an offering in place that allows you to get up and running if you want to operate yourself in a very short time frame. It is, to be clear, this solution is an interim one, right? While the FAA works to get more extensive BVLOS rules governing this type of operation in place, but I expect that this is going to be I expect that this will be the lay of the land for at least the next 3 to 4 years. It's just going to take longer than any of us would like. So in the meantime, you have to, if you want to operate BVLOS in the United States, you have to go through this process, and there are consultants that can help you do it if you want to do it independently.
Mm-hmm. All right, Vinayak, I think we got time for one more.
Yes,
we'll go after the one. There's one talking about NDAA compliance, and that's exactly why we've gone with the Universal, being able to support a wider variety of different drones currently available. So it works with the Mavic 3 as well as with the Anafi USA, and then the Atlas Nest supports the M350, as well as you might see around. There's another M350 looking drone coming up, the Inspired Flight IF 800 Tomcat. You all should take a look at that one sometime soon. And then one more, Norway drone solutions provider. Yes, we do have HVAC, internal heating and cooling systems to enable the Nest to survive a wide variety of weather conditions. We've got some units deployed out in 115-degree Fahrenheit conditions, as well as some in below -25 Fahrenheit conditions. Those are a little bit outside of our technical specifications allowance, but they are still sustaining themselves even in environments like that. So I think that's all the time we have today. Thank you, Vinayak. Thank you, NestGen team. Thank you, Jesse and Jimmy. I really appreciate you all coming out and supporting Hextronics and FlytBase today at NestGen.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Kurt. Thanks, Jesse and Jimmy. So it was a hell of an event, right? And thanks a lot for giving us time. And I believe, obviously, audience might have loved this session. Personally, I got a lot of information from you guys. Thanks a lot for coming. Thank you, guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a
Thanks,
great
everyone.
one. Thank you, guys.
Having us.